The games are about to begin. You're watching Butler Esports.
What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We're back with some more Siege, and it is just as spicy as it's ever been. We're here at the Butler land. I am the Reverend Whiskey Glitter, and with me, as always, my co-host and partner, Mr. Whiskey Run. What'd you say, Whiskey?
Yeah, like you said, welcome everyone to the Butler Fall Break LAN event here. $4,000 prize pool set up in just 2 days. Really an incredible event that they've got us set up. And I know y'all have been waiting on stream for a long time, specifically to see the St. Clair UMBC game that was scheduled to happen as we kick off the second round of games with groups C and D. But the problem is tech issues on one of the PCs for those two teams and just really unable to get that thing going. So we are going to, recently Prod said, swap games. We're going to go ahead and play number 2 first, which is the Ohio State Vespa game. And I promise we will come back to the St. Clair UMBC. That game is definitely going to get covered. It's just going to be number 2.
Second one on the day. So we're gonna watch some more Siege, and we're gonna bring it at you in a border. This map is gonna be insane. It's gonna be absolutely insane. Yeah, real quick, let's get to kind of what we've seen today as far as some of the games. You've got some of those numbers for us.
Yeah, that's right. So we got to see groups A and B play all of their games this morning. So they got the first half, and we're kicking off with C and D. But to close out A and B, we talked about it a little bit at one of the analyst desks earlier. Akron and Cincinnati dominated their groups. I mean, really, truly dominated. 27 round count for Akron and 32 round differential for Cincinnati. Huge differences between those two teams. They were absolutely on fire. The rest of the pack traded off a little bit as those first couple rounds. But tell you what, on the last rounds, the third and fourth rounds that got played, the teams that were hot stayed hot and carried it all the way through. So you got Columbia sitting in second. You've got Purdue Fort Wayne coming in second in their group, which really, that was amazing. They had a tremendous comeback in that previous, and you got to see that on stream as well, with that 30 kill round from Ions. And then Ions and Fragged both getting to do interviews because they had some tremendous games. So Eastern Kentucky and MU sitting down in those fourth place spots. But the great part about this LAN, no one's eliminated. Everybody gets to play tomorrow in the playoffs for seeding. So it was a great first half of the day. We're literally just getting started on the second half of the day.
Yeah, which means we've got a ton more Siege coming your way. We got to get through this next one first. It's going to be OSU versus Vespa. And if you've ever watched the Siege Double Shot before, there's quite a few familiar names on here to be getting to that really, like, it's a joy to see those players here and meet them in person. And now we get to watch some of our favorites play.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the names for sure that you know on the Vespa team, Nyx has been a part of the scene for a long time, and I think relevant right now in the current Siege scene with the X Makers team, Challenger League for Life, making it to the major. We did get a chance to cast Nyx versus Packer actually in the Skyline 2v2, which Nyx and Recited won 8-6 in that game, in that 2v2 against Packers. So I know Packers getting to go to the major. Congrats to him and his team. But, Nyx was right there winning it on stream as well. We got a chance to cast that. So kind of fun that we're going to get to bring that back here and see how Nyx is doing with this Vespa team as well.
Twice they won that 2v tournament.
Yep.
That Nyx and recited. And then on the other side of the board, a couple familiar faces that we've had since like kind of some of our inception into Siege. Toaster, Mamba, seen them on would you say Mr. Pang's Esports Worldwide.
Right. Mr. Pang's Esports Worldwide, one of the great teams of the GNL. We've got to see Toaster a few different times as part of that squad, getting a chance to cast him. So pretty fun that also we're going to get to see them in the collegiate scene as well. So sort of a full circle here.
Yeah, absolutely. And to get it done on this first map, we are going to Border. This used to be my absolute favorite map, right? Because it brings the aggression. There's so much soft breach around in the walls, in the floors, that you can get these crazy long angles. And with the evolution of the DMR becoming just like the pro gun to use, right? The devastator from a distance. It takes maps like Border and it just makes them incredibly fun to watch, right? This is attacker sided. This is an attacker sided map.
Indeed.
So the team that's got the well put together attack team is going to do really well on Border. We're going to see if that translates here.
That's right. Here we go. It is time for the bans. And I mean, the bans have been pretty consistent across the board here on what we've got a chance to see, right? The Monty, and this is our second time getting to see Deimos banned as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's huge for this because the vertical nature of this map, that you have to take it whether you're playing below or whether you're playing above on that 2F site. He's such an impactful player because he can get the live ping. You can have the crossfire set up. And, of course, he can take it from below. So there's using the Deimos on Border is, I mean, essentially like one of the better players for Border because of that nature, right? Monty banned out, duh, right? We just don't get to see Monty played anymore since the shield buff came into play, which makes sense. He's now a viable candidate in any sort of those 1vx scenarios where it used to be that he was maybe, counted out if he if he was the last one alive. And then on the defensive side of it, it's a standard, the Architect, Azami, going to be taken off the board because she creates all of these one-ways through that soft breach. Just can be almost impossible to deal with, or at least you have to bring a specific operator to counter. You have to bring the Flores. You have to bring somebody with the DMR to take down those Kiva barriers just a little bit quicker, and then Fenrir, round it out.
Yeah, and for a long time here in Season 9, we really weren't seeing Fenrir banned because it wasn't worth the ban after all of his nerfs. But you talked about it on Border. There's definitely a few places where it makes sense to have him, the defined places that you're pushing in through. But, that does leave the Valkyrie available. It does leave Mira available, and we're going to see Mira here played. And for sure, you're starting on Border defense. You're going to the 2F site. I mean, that is like clockwork. And they're going to set up the mirror window on that main breach. I like that as a general rule of thumb. Plus the addition of the mute playing off the back of the east side to sort of prevent that east side take. And a Malusi got a lot of utility locked in there. They don't have any projectile deny, though. No Wamai, no Jaeger in place. So some of that might be able to get cleared out. And I was wondering whether or not we were going to see the attackers bring out a Capitao to try and help clear out maybe from that AC window. But they're going to stick with the Ash, Bucket, Thatcher, and Sledge combo.
You know what's the deal? So we've seen the rise of Castle, right? He's become this incredible figure on the defense that not only can he be a pace setter, not only does he make operators that you have to pick to counter him specifically, but it's like facilitated the rise of the Sledge. Right? He disappeared once those grenades were taken, once they were nerfed, right? He kind of disappeared as far as, because there's just operators who could do it better. Bringing out the Buck, bringing out the Ram. But now with the Castle, holding on to the Pixel, really wants to take a couple of shots there, but not going to find himself any. But with Castle, it's a quick, easy, use the hammer, take it down, and then, of course, make him push in.
All right, Future taking down Anakin. Oh, and getting a double, one with each of his weapons there. So we get in a 3v4 with 1:45. We talk about Border, like, it's got, again, some very defined strategies to push in. Gain control of the security side to be able to put pressure on the mirror, playing on the double hard breach. Or, sort of push in through the east, but then you've got to deal with this office side. So you can see you've got Mute holding on to the office, playing behind the mirror window, and Ohio State so far has not found the opportunity to deal with those windows yet. That one's still up and active, and no Ash available to try and take it down. You've got to rely on just the, maybe shooting from below, but the ace as the alternative.
Yeah, ace is the only way to deal with it. And now that there's just 60 seconds left, still having both the mirrors up can just make it an absolute devastation to try to push into. So, uphill climb here for Ohio State as they get themselves a bit of a redirect, and that's going to be the triple kill now as Future is going to find one and then get caught slipping. That's going to take us now into a 3v2. It's going to be Thatcher and Ace, the last two alive. The combo move. The guys that work in synchronicity. Can they do enough here to bring it back? Got to find one to get the equalizer here. And still just kind of holding on, waiting for the push. It's a C4 primed, prepped, and ready in the hands of Mira. She's going to go ahead and drop that, and they're going to start to open up instead. This is her chance to send one if she's going to as they open it up, but it's Fountain. The Fountain pressure holding on. They're not going to get it, but he's going to take his life. It's going to be a Vector to take Vector off the board, and there it is. It's going to be the Vector to find two.
Yeah, that definitely looked like the defense. When we were sitting at the 1v3, or the 3v2 scenario, definitely looked like Vespa had everything locked down. With Ohio State losing a couple of those key pieces of offensive utility early, the Ash going down, you were stuck with just the ace, and they really couldn't get anything going there. Mira had that C4 ready, was going to drop it, but really off the back of Future had a great round. What was that, a 3K
Three-piece, yeah.
for him?
Yep, three-piece for Future, and looking to find himself active on it again as this time as he's bringing out the Mira yet again. Gonna see a lot of similar strats here, right, Whiskey? Because the big part in this border map is you still have to hold the vertical, right? So a lot of setups are gonna be the same that you would see if we're playing up on that 2F. So mostly the same operators, albeit there's one strange one here for the side of the defense. Vespa opting to bring out the Doc.
No, that's not strange.
That's a strange one. That's a strange one, bro.
I know you love saying that. You love hating on the Doc, just like I love hating on the Blitz. Doc, I mean, you're bringing out the 200 HP stims, the overstim, the take on the fight directly, but whether or not it's a good choice here, sometimes I feel like the spot that you see Doc played a lot on border is upstairs in the security area and trying to just hold on to that, but typically as part of a 2F hold, right? And for the bathroom, since it's all played out on the other side of the map, that to me is the interesting pick, right? Why go with the interesting pick there? But, did that Ash charge miss? Did it miss the mirror? It looked like it took out everything above, but didn't crack the glass.
Huge. Absolutely huge that they're not going to be able to take that mirror down. And Thatcher now drops into that 24 HP, putting him on a low health scenario with still plenty of time left on the clock, right? So there's some Candela's going to go in and start to cause a little bit of chaos as the push comes in. They do get that mirror, however, so it'll be a little bit easier to start making the push up and take some of this archives area.
That's right. Hold on to the archives, and that's one of the ways you can get some pressure down as you make the push over into office. But you still have got, that's where the Doc is playing, right? Rather than holding on to the security side, it's holding on to the office side, and currently still has 3 of those stims. But look at that, taking a shot, taking out one of those windows, but quickly refragged out. Anakin going down. Minute 30 left in this round, and right now we're seeing this attacking team has got themselves all stacked up on the Armory Archive side, but Future just having a hell of a game. 5-1-1.
Absolutely. And with the down on Thatcher, what are you going to do when Future's on the other side, right? 5-1, having an absolutely slamming. We're only in round 2, my friend. So 4v2 as we sit with 65 left on the board puts a lot of the pressure here on the side of the attack. Now, they do get Thatcher up, so get a little bit closer to equalizing on this body balance here. And instead, going to take a little bit of an extra look. Use some of that drone economy and find out where these last few players are sitting.
Doesn't hurt at all to take another minute. We were talking with some of the other players and casters during the break about how you've seen there's a couple teams that spend almost all their time, tons of time droning, right? It's one person on drones the entire time, right? That's a team that really manages their information utility really well. And here we are. would have liked to have known that Nix was sitting at the bottom of the stairs, leaving Toaster alive as the lone attacker left.
Yep, Toaster toast Nix as the headshot rings out. Now puts us into 1v3. It's the drop down from the balcony. Looking, he's peeking. It's 180 shots, but it's going to be a prone, pwned, and then owned as Toaster gets taken off the board. That's going to be a second in a row for Vespa as they start to mount a little bit of momentum here.
That's right. You talk about it being an attacker-sided map, but right now, Vespa got a little bit of this map control. They're holding on just a tad bit better as Ohio State works on trying to find their footing here on border. They seem a little bit uncoordinated, and like it looked like a little bit of a one-dimensional push on the previous round. So now we've covered 2F. We've covered bathroom tellers and most of the action happening upstairs on that second floor. So now we get to see how Vent Workshop is going to play out. Again, I would expect very similar, right? The Armory Archives hold upstairs. You can see that's where Mira's already at, with the addition of the Clash to help back that up. Love seeing the Clash come out. We'll see whether or not that's going to be a difference maker in favor of Ohio State, maybe.
I love seeing the Clash come out in the hands of somebody who knows how to use it. So Firebird, the test is on. Let's see your Clash skills put to the test here. And if it works, it's amazing. Bring out the Aruni as well. Get that DMR out. Put that devastation in the hands of somebody that knows what to do there. The slowdown of the castle. This is a fun defensive setup, and it's going to focus a lot on holding on to that second floor. In fact, only Mira being the one left down inside of sight. Now, normally you would think that is a dangerous situation, right? Because if the IGL gets a call, hey, there's only one in sight, let's push and plant. Normally, that's something that would be a little bit, you would definitely see. But on border, the vertical nature of the map would just disallow almost all of that.
Watching this thing start to develop. Also, we haven't said his name yet, but what's it to you? I love that name. Seeing the castle play upstairs, it's going to make that quick drop down with a little bit of pressure there from the Buck, from the Thatcher, playing upstairs, putting some pressure on him, but it doesn't afford them a ton of map control yet on the Ohio State side, so Vespa's still holding on, Clash still locked in place, got plenty of utility there, and look at this. Sledge opening up some of those sight lines, trying to avoid this Aruni gate, making the push over, but I don't know whether... Yep,
yeah.
He saw him.
He did. He saw that. Yep, go ahead and click the head. It was an L85 to claim that life. That's going to take the devastation of the DMR out and away. So 5v4 we now sit as we get about halfway through that round.
That's right. Here we go. Okay. 5v4 in there. You hear the electricity just starting to go out. Now, you're going to have the Warden play from behind the shield. Clash has got to be very careful in those motions to be able to have the Warden play from behind her carefully. They're going to... I don't think that the Thatcher doesn't disable any of the Clash utility, does she?
I think it does, yeah.
Oh, shut her down. Well, she's made the rotate back down, and now look at this. All of these blue outlines, everybody upstairs, they've got complete control of Armory Archives up above, and everybody there to put pressure down. The difference is you got 45 seconds left. You still have time here to try and hold on.
Okay, so 36 seconds. It's barely any time at all. So we're going to see this final bit of a push in here. Pings are going out, so they got the general location. They're going to find it. Toaster's going to take Nix off the board, and that's going to put the body balance heavily now in favor of the attacking team. They're going to jump in, and they're going to start going for the plant.
Look at this.
They're going to take it to 50, to 75. Ooh, man, a post-plant scenario with every member of the attacking team still alive. Going to force this retake as they start to get in, but they're holding from the windows. They're holding from the bookshelf. And even with Clash in, could be tough. There's going to be what's it going to find the kill, but Anakin gonna respond back now, puts us into a 4v2. Like we said, gotta have 7 seconds on the board, but Mamba's gonna clean that one right up.
There it is. Ohio finds one. All right. Found their first on attack. Armory Archives time.
back up. That's the round rotate done and gone. And it kind of falls a little bit in the way that you would expect, right? The first real test for any attacking team is going to be that terse site. And that's, of course, for that defensive team is going to be the terse site, the one maybe a little less prepared for. So 2-1 is where we sit. Now, here's the big part, right? Is the second half of the first half, the back end of the first half, is going to see what is going to be that adaptation. What are they going to bring to the board that is going to maybe get this a little bit closer? Because Ohio State, you know, you're going to be fine with 2, except for this is an attacker-friendly map, right? This is a map where you should be getting a few more wins than the standard 4-2 split when you're going into it. And yes, every map can be defensive-sided with a good defense. But if Vespa is prepared on the attack side of it, then Ohio State, if they don't get more than the standard 2, could find themselves in a bit of trouble.
That's right, my friend. So we saw Vent Workshop go the way of Ohio State. Vespa taking the other 2 main sites. The first one, really, like we said, that bathroom site has become the secondary site. There was a time where Vent Workshop was the preferred because you could have such a good hold upstairs on 2F, but I really feel like that bathroom site has moved into sort of that secondary. But boy, so far we have definitely seen trades happening early. A lot of action happening early in these rounds. Then a bit of a lull as the attacking team reevaluates. To me, it's a good sign from the Ohio State side where, okay, something doesn't happen the way you want. Take a pause, reevaluate, adjust to make a change. It's worked well once. Trying to find a second here, but gonna go down.
Yeah,
no, Mamba won that gunfight.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, took the swing even off after losing the crosshair in the EMP, but it's going to get traded back is what's it's going to take serving off the board. Now puts us into a 2-2. It's a low health scenario for the Ace as they start to deal with some of these mirrors and open up so they push some of these folks out of some of these critical push point areas. Of course, they've already moved back, as you can see. One sitting in that fountain area is the Mira. Still has a C4 in hand as well. So as they start to get close, going to make it just a little bit tougher, just over the head of the person sitting back behind the half wall there. It's 3-3. We're tied up as we're getting into this last minute and 20.
That's right. There was a key piece of utility there on the wall in between the sites. That bulletproof cam feeding information as the attackers were trying to make their push in, and even though Ace had the sight line open, he gets taken out vaulting through the window, the long angle being held by Vespa, just protecting it in there. That red ping coming out, that could potentially be from that bulletproof cam feeding information as the attackers trying to make their way in.
That's right. You hear us talk about it, and there it is. That's going to be the Vector ring out and take Breast's head off the board now into a 3v1. Thatcher, the lone soldier, alive, trying to find a way to bring this back around, but the crossfire going to prove to be too much is what's it going to find another kill. And that's going to put Vespa up on the board for their next round win.
That's right, happening over on the security side. So I don't feel like we have seen the super clear attack strats come out from Ohio State like I think we're used to. It feels a little bit disjointed, but it's early in this round. They got plenty of time left to try and make something happen. Round 5, you've got 3 on the defensive side. You still got plenty of time to take down 2. Now, I was trying to take a look and see which one of these players might be the one to have the breakout, right? Breast. Also, great name.
Yep. W.
Still sitting at that 0-3. He's got 3 assists, though, but could potentially be the one. They need him to step up there. Stay alive a little bit longer, running that buck for the vertical play on top of the bathroom site here. Again, working this office side. It may be a little bit harder, but so you got the castle upstairs to try and protect it. What's it to you doing his job, closing it down?
That's right. So, a similar lineup to what you've seen on the defense. They're going to run it back, not afraid of any smokes, with Warden on the board, special goggles, special plates. And on the other side of it, they're going to try for it anyways, right? Bring out the Ying, cause a little bit of chaos. And while one member of the defense might be able to see through that, those Candelas can be absolutely devastating when we're going for the late round, for the execute, for the drop, especially if Warden gets taken down early. And I think that's going to be one of the win conditions of this round. They're going to have to take Firebird down so they can have that clutch potential.
If you were listening to the broadcast earlier during the Landis interview, the interviewee asked which was the team that they wanted to play, and Vespa was the answer. Ohio State gets the first shot at them, but Landis wants a shot at this Vespa team. It's going to be coming tomorrow as that first opportunity. So they get a little bit of a preview, though. How is this team going to handle versus Ohio State? And right now, looking pretty good. They've got a good hold here on border.
Cheeky little angle, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely love it. So, kind of a little bit of a break here.
Ash doesn't know.
Oh.
Ash did not know.
Nope. Buck to fall
Wow.
next. Two of them are going to ring out. That's going to be Anakin and Mamba taken off the board. Puts us into a 5v3. Still plenty of time. There goes Breast taken down as the LED5 going to ring out and take what's it, but it's answered back immediately as Nyx finds Swervin's head. Now into a 4v1 Toaster. Alone, the last man standing, and definitely not something that you want from your hard breach, of course. But he is going to find one. He's going to take that mirror out just for good measure, safety's sake, right? Doesn't want it to come back on the other direction. Still got castle barricades to deal with here. Now, all three of the Selma charges are in hand, so we can get a little bit of a distraction. We can open some of these things up, and he's going to start by potentially making that distraction inside of detention.
You can work on distraction, but when you're in a 1v3, I mean, yeah, Toaster's sitting at that 4-4, but look at that. Cam pinging him out. The rest of the Vespa team doing their job, so they know he's downstairs, potentially going through that main lobby or detention side, so sort of narrowing down his point of entry in. But you can see Mira holding on main lobby there. The Malusi gives him away, so got plenty of opportunity here to shut it down, but not close. Yeah. All right, they've got the shots. They're just going to start taking them and vertical from above. So he's got his work cut out for him. He's going to have to win 3 1Vs. I hope he's going to get the honors of taking them down.
That's right. And the vertical, the retake back up top, and they're going to solidify that one. And that's going to put us 4-1 now on the last round of the first half of this map. And I mean, if you're Ohio State, you're not especially worried, except for that it's border, right? Except for you should be having some more success than just 1 or 2 wins because of the attacker-sided nature of the map. But, I mean, you end it with a 4-2, you're not going to be especially worried because you still, of course, do have your defense.
That's right. Yeah, you've got your opportunity to play defense, but if Vespa is that aggressive attacking team, I think that we have come to know and love. It's going to make this a really tough run for the Ohio State squad. So what are we getting set up? Another Oryx. We talked a lot about Oryx during that last game where he could sort of play the spoiler, one of those vertical opportunities jumping up and down between the floors, and potentially the backup there to Firebird bringing out the clash again. Everybody, except for Nyx on the Vespa side, positive in the KD, whereas on the Ohio State side, struggling a little bit more.
Yeah, that's right. Specifically, Breast sitting at that 0-4. Can't seem to buy a kill at the moment. Going to put themselves back on the Ying, and they're going to couple it up with the Blitz. So a little bit of some aggression here, right? And Buck to take that vertical, Lion to suss them out, and Grim for the Bees to find themselves locating and destroying. This is a good setup. Now, this is the site that they won before, right? So good potential, unless Vespa, of course, has found that adaptation. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Man, called out Nyx for not being positive on the KD. He says, I heard you, and grabs a double to get that spot.
That's right. Looking for the vertical, taking a couple of shots. Not going to find anything, however, as the Candelas go out. They do grab the case, get back inside. Now, starting to set up for a plant, but the vertical's still in place. Is what's it's going to take Breast off the board with a couple of body shots, and the Blitz goes down. And again, this is a familiar pattern here. It's a 1v everybody. And they're going to go ahead and find it from the vertical.
It's a great example of the verticality of Siege and how important it is. And Ohio State going for more of a direct take. Maybe we talk about whether or not the IGL had sort of recognized that there's a gap in the defense, but in border, there's no vertical gap, right? That vertical is so easy to cover, nearly completely breachable floor. Very few opportunities for the attackers to sort of hide underneath the defense like that. So you really need that vertical control to make that a successful push. Tried to forego it, didn't really have any of the assets in place for a quick plant. It fell apart, and Vespa finds themselves 5-1. That we get to see their attack of border in Ohio State. The hold, again, starting at the typical place. Going to go upstairs to the 2F. See what they're bringing out. I like this combination of the mute, the Malusi, right, a little bit of, and the frost, the slowdown. No breach denial, so they're going to stay away from any sort of that electricity outside of the mute, but a little bit more on the information denial side.
You see what I'm seeing? Oh, baby. There's the potential for it to be a little bit of a
there it is. It's locked in.
That's right, baby. Amaru. And how do we use Amaru? It's in through that sandwich window. It's up through the hatch. It's all kinds of potential shenanigans here. And couple that with the Candelas and the Blitz and of course, the Thatcher to stop those Malusis that are in place, or potentially those Wamais. This is huge. And there it is. Already, you're seeing the Amaru get primed, prepped, and ready to get on in.
Yeah, but they can identify, again, a little bit of a gap. And
did you see that? Is that Frost going to put one there right now?
Yes.
The late round. Caught you slipping, put you sleeping, but Nick's going to answer back on the toaster. Serving. Going to find a double, taking both Firebird and Nick's out. And the plant effectively just shut down. It's now a 4v2 and really a lot of time left.
Yeah. Ohio State, or Vespa, really looking to catch Ohio State off guard there with the quick plant, with the jump in, with the quick push. And it was a good setup. It was exactly what we were looking for, but unfortunately falls apart at the last moment. Warden was waiting to cover that sandwich window right there, and he's going to get 2 off the back of that and completely shut down that Amaru push. Yeah, you had you had the blitz ready to try and back it up, but look at this. He's going to go for the plant just inside the door?
No way. Coverage on the window as
what?
Well. And just like that, they get a down onto the Warden, and that's going to put us into a 2v2 post plant with Frost falling to the pistol popping, body dropping blitz. Gonna find a second as he knifes breast. Now a 2v1 mute, the last to survive to try and get it, and it's going to be a shield bash, and they're going to follow it up with a knife. What started out as an incredibly terrible push by the attack, they held on, they had the patience to wait, they get one closer to equalize, and then all of a sudden they've got this freaking crossfire set up. Blitz could just walk right in and get a plan, and then it's good night, goodbye, sayonara, see you later.
6-1 to start this thing off. Ohio State, that win back on round 3 that was on the Vent Workshop area, that one looked pretty good. And for sure we thought that this was going to be a little bit more balanced. But since then, Vespa has come on strong, won 4 in a row, including their last several defensive rounds and that attacking round. So now we're not even going to see Ohio State go back and ego check it, play upstairs again. They're going to drop down to that bathroom site, see if they can hold on. They got to win. I mean, at least one. We're talking about, if you're just joining us in these best of 2s, this is all about round differential. It's not about wins. It's not about points. It's all about round differential. So putting, the nail in the coffin on the team you're playing against is the most important part of what these teams are trying to put together today. So a 7-1 victory is huge, a +6. That's how we saw Cincinnati and Akron get so high up in the standings on the games this morning. So Vespa looking to do the same to this Ohio State team. So if Ohio State's got anything to say about it, they've got to start winning some rounds here, slow down this Vespa attack, and build up the wall, and it's going to start in the basement.
Am I such
bathroom.
Bottom floor. Am I so far out of the meta that I missed? What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. It's a bit of a spectacle here at the Butler land, but we are having ourselves a wonderful time with some wonderful Siege. I am the wonderful Whiskey Glitter, also with my partner and co-host this evening, Mr. Whiskey Run. Hey, why don't you catch us up?
Yeah, that's right. Welcome back, everyone. That stream got cut short, unfortunately. You know, some live Siege. Live problems happen. Sometimes the prod PC just cuts off, and what are you going to do? We're going to talk about Vespa winning that last round. You only missed literally one round. They won it 7-2 over Ohio State there on border. So it was a quick win, and they get that 5-point differential. Huge win there for Vespa to start off this game.
Thank you for watching. For more updates, follow the Butler Esports socials at Butler Esports.